Down at the bottom down here is where you come into our property. We've got a gate down there and a driveway that comes up and around, and off to one side at the beginning you can see a little shelter down there. That's where our pigs are. We've got 2 little heritage pigs, and then right after that on the same side is our chicken yard and the small orchard. So I've got peaches and plums and apples and pears and pawpaws and all kinds of stuff. There's a little willow, or a decent sized willow compared to the others, right in the middle there. And then we've got a few more ornamental trees that are lining the fence here that are all flowering and make a pretty drive up. I've got a little garage barn up at the top, and that's where I store all my stuff. Got a little workshop up there and all that. And straight up ahead, that is our house. So that's where that is. As you look over to the other side of the drive, that's just our yard. That's where the kids play. That's about it. I'm reserving that for play space mainly. And then right up here is where I'll be working. So currently I've got a fenced in area with 4 garden beds. We've got some netting over one because the cabbage worms were really bad last year, and pretty much just started with these. They've been, I believe all of them have been sown and seeded, and a few plants that are already going. So we've got those going right here. And then right behind and right beside is where I'm going to do a little miniature food forest permaculture style group of edible plantings. So I've got a scoop of wood mulch here and a scoop of dirt mixed with some mushroom compost, and that's 2 things that I'll be using. I've got 2 more garden beds that I'll be putting in on the other side of the house as well, so that's mainly what the dirt's for, and the wood mulch is mainly for my plantings around here. So the idea is to start back here. We've got a decent sized pine, and with that, with pine needles, the soil is more acidic, and a lot of these berries like that, so that's the plan. I'll do more of the shade-loving ones kind of right under here. We'll have probably 2 right here that really like the shade, and then things like currants, gooseberries that are partial shade, I'll kind of come out from that and stagger them around, and then come out to this side and do more of the sun-loving berry bushes. The plan is to have them here and then curl out kind of right in front of this big oak here. And then this open section here right beside the garden will be 1 or 2 sections. I'm planning on probably just running a row of fencing right here, and probably do maybe 1 here and then 1 there, and it'll just be 1 line, and that'll be a trellis. I've got some raspberries and tayberries and boysenberries, and all those trellis would be good for. So plan on doing that here beside the garden bed, and then back over there I talked about doing some of the shade things, maybe some other berries over here, and that kind of comes out and curls around to this side, and then opposite that will be the trellises. And then possibly, if they fit, in the middle here I'll probably do a row kind of staggering like this, do a row of blueberries. I've got a lot of blueberry bushes, so I've counted and I think I can fit about 12 to 15 coming all the way to here, and maybe if I have enough room to continue it down in front of the other berries that I have back here, I might do that and fit in as many as I can. Probably have access to 25 or so quite a bit, but we'll see how that goes. And that's the plan for this section here. You can see the kids are really loving the piles of mulch and dirt. And moving on, I'll show you the area in the back that I'll be working on as well. That's where I'll be putting in 2 new garden beds, and that's our other area for the edibles aside from the small orchard by the chickens. So if you come around here, you can also see that I've recently kind of redone and worked on this bed here. Our house is only 2 years old, so most of this stuff is relatively new and the soil's really bad. So I've had to replant things and freshen it up, and we'll see how things go. But this side, I have not done that to yet. So that is on the project list as well. And you can see from under this overhang here, I've got all the pine straw I need for that. I've got cinder blocks for building a garden bed. I've got tomato cages, all kinds of stuff. This is where I keep all my materials and wood. So that's on the books. I don't know what'll actually get done soon, what won't, but I'm going ahead and recording all this so I have it on record what it looked like before. So over here, we've got strawberries here. Then we've got 2 other garden beds right beside those. And then this was the blueberry patch. I guess currently is the blueberry patch. The soil's not very good, so they've kind of struggled. Most of them were just established last year. They've had 1 growing season, so they haven't had much of a chance. But you can see that they are, most of them at least, are alive, and they have some decent buds on them and everything. So they're looking decent, but I think they'll do a lot better over on the other side. The soil's a lot better. It's a little more acidic naturally, that kind of stuff. I had tried putting some, you can see there's kind of some wood around each one of these. And what I did is put wood around it, I put newspaper down around it, I put dried leaves, I put pine needles, and we've been dumping coffee grounds on there. And so that's really helped get that soil to what the blueberries like, and that seems to be doing fairly well. But they're just not going to be here anymore. So I might do a similar strategy on the other side, we'll see. But since these will be gone, this space will then be empty. And so that is where I will put in the 2 garden beds. So we've got strawberries, garden bed, and then I'll do 1 and 2 more that will give us some more growing space for gardens. That is our compost bin. I did a kind of 3-section bin. And so we'll start on 1 section. When that's starting to break down, move it over, and then start refilling. And then as that gets filled up, then you move the second one to the third and the first one to the second and start filling the first, you know. And by the time you get done with that, maybe mix it, I don't know, I've mixed it maybe once in between exchanges and end up with some really good looking soil and compost. So that's nice. I'll be using that as well. And then I've got this fence row here that the chickens are on the other side of this, and that's the back side of that barn. So on the fence row, I've got mulberries. I've got a mulberry here and a mulberry there. And then I've got raspberries. You can kind of barely see here. Then I've got some blackberries over here along the fence. And then this little pole fence gate thing that I've set up is the trellis for the muscadines and the grapes. So there's muscadines on this side. You probably can't see very well, but you can see the little twigs here. That's muscadines. And then coming over here, these ones are the grapes. So I've got a few different varieties of grapes. You can see they're starting to bud. So we'll see how those go. Again, the soil's not all that great over here, so I'll be working on soil improvement. That's one of my main things to do. And I think that's the majority of what I'm working on now. I'll be doing the 2 beds over here. I'll be moving the blueberries over there. And I'll be planting a lot of new things over there. I just got a shipment in from Rain Tree, is one of the nurseries I ordered from. I've got, I think, 3 more shipments from random various places, so this will be a multi-step project, but most of the berry bushes came in this order, and so that's what I'll work on in this first step. And these are them. So you can see I've got a few little ones that came in, little pots. I don't know even what they are, honeyberries and a few other things. And then this is everything else. So I've got all kinds of stuff. I've got some Hall's Hardy almonds that'll go down in the orchard area, and some other interesting things there. So that's what's here. Then to just give you an idea of this so-called orchard here, we've got the chicken area, that is this section, and all these trees that you can see here are all fruit trees. So these first few are apples, and then after that, right over here, we've got some pears. I don't know, that's either an apple or a pear, I don't remember. A lot of this I just planted this past fall and have really no clue where things are. But there are some plums, there are some peaches, there's, I don't know, I think I got some nectarines. I really don't even remember. So I'll look. I left the tags on them, so if you can see those, they're there on purpose so that I remember, and I'll write that down, have a big running list of everything. These tomato cages here, you probably can't see anything on them, but there's little twigs that are sticking up at the bottom of that, and those are pawpaws. And so with pawpaws, when you start them off, they start off very small and they don't grow very tall at first. They spend their first year or two really establishing their root system, and so that's what they've been doing. They're still pretty small, and they've been here for about a year and a half. And so hopefully this year they'll actually start getting a little taller. Hopefully their root system's fairly established, and that's the goal. I'm really looking forward to those. So that's them up here, and they're kind of in the shade a little bit because we have a giant oak tree right here, and pawpaws do like some shade, so that works out well for them. And so down here, there are multiple fruit trees. Like I've already mentioned, there's some cherries at the very back, right over there. And there is some room out here, some blank spots, and that's where some of these extra ones that I just got will go. I've got some jujubes and the Hall's Hardy almonds. I've got some specific cultivars of serviceberry, and all of those will go along the backside here of the orchard, kind of all along there, that area in front of the fence, but after these plantings that are already here from last year. And that's the plan for that. So other than that, I've got 3 figs that are way down at the bottom of that curve. There are 3 figs planted right there. And I have some orders coming in of some more native style plants. I've got some high bush cranberries. I've got some, oh, I don't even know. I've got serviceberries and blackberries and pawpaws and yeah, just I've got a very long list. So in total, I counted it up. It's about 200 to 300 plants. And so that will be coming, and all of those will be going along, kind of along the back fence road there. I'll be expanding out where the 3 figs are and actually make that a zone of edible trees and bushes. I'll do some all on this back fence here, the fence with the neighbors. Got a big leaf bin over there that I'll be using as well. I gathered all of our leaves this past year, and there's a good bit. So I'll be using those for mulching and stuff, and probably all on this fence row, all the way down by the figs, down in the pig area, all on the back fence here. All of that is going to be all of these other seedlings that I ordered from different state departments over the US, and they are much cheaper that way, and you can get them in bundles of 25. So I've got a good bit coming, and that's probably stage 2, stage 3, depending on the order everything comes in. And that's the plan. So this should give you a rough idea of what's going on now and what it looks like to begin with, what the rough plans are, and I will continue to make some more videos and record as I get more stages done and more planted and kind of see how this thing goes. So thank you very much for watching.